insurance sector is a key player in the financial system in this country. And that sector is subject to local regulatory requirements, but also changes because they sit within an ecosystem that demands that they continue to innovate, because technology is rapidly evolving. So if they don't innovate, then they will not serve the consumers optimally and effectively. But there are also issues of MLCFT that are critical, because the insurance industry being applied in the financial system, we have the FATF regulations that require that all the players in that sector comply. These boards must continue retooling so that they are able to have effective oversight over these entities. But not just the boards, even the staff, the management entirely need to retool to keep pace with the evolving and dynamic environment. Climate change, geopolitics affects the manner in which insurance companies operate, because they have to be aligned and ready to change their modes of operation to comply with some of the current changes that are taking place.
And also the regulator also mentioned about Kenya being one of the countries in the East African community in the grey list. And what is the danger and what informs you from what you see?
You see, MLCFT is not a Kenyan issue. It is international. Obviously, it affects the country in certain ways, all right? And there are people, there are rating agencies that rate countries. And when you are grey listed, obviously it affects your access to certain financial facilities that are offered by different entities. And therefore, it is important that the insurance industry, being a player, also ensures that they comply with all these regulations, because it is critical for the country.
What are some of these weak points that inform this, and how can they be addressed?
Now, we have a regulatory regime. All we need is just compliance. Compliance and enforcement. And that's why the commissioner of IRA did mention that the players must comply, because those rules are there. These are new things. They need to build capacities around it, train their staff so that they're able to undertake KYC of their customers and stay within the compliant levels and requirements.
Also, there are a number of regulations that are being affronted, including the increase of some levies. What is your input to this?
Which levies in particular?
Like the increase of levy, like insurance, from the ones that some brokers are saying that there's a need of change, increase, because for the last 10 years, maybe some of the fees haven't been, were normal.
But you know, this is an issue that has to be dealt with by the regulator. They have to look at the pros and cons of it. And at the end of the day, the regulator is there to ensure that there's consumer protection. So it's not something that a broker or an insurance company will wake up one night and increase. No, this has to be vetted and accepted by IRA.
Something to add? Something to add?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I represent the Association of Insurance Brokers, and we've been very privileged to have Senior Counsel Mohammed Nyaoga come to speak to us about what is uppermost in our minds today. There are a number of things that are affecting our members. You have mentioned the increase in fees. You have mentioned the issues to do with the MLCFT. These are international concerns that have led to Kenya being downgraded, and that has impact on our access to financial systems, to financial advances. So that is a negative to the country, and we are combating it by trying to educate our members, to sensitize our members, to comply with the law. The law as it is very, very stringent. Unfortunately, in the insurance sector, we are learning of it recently. The banks have been in it since 16 years ago, so they have complied largely. But the insurance sector is still struggling to put in place mechanisms to comply with the law. So we have challenges, and that is why we have this conference.
In terms of the reforms that you're seeking, why do you seek to increase the levies?
We are not seeking to increase the levies. It is the regulator's side that is doing that. However, the regulator has published an invitation to members of the insuring fraternity to participate and give public contributions to their thoughts on what they feel about those levies. So what is going to happen is they've given a window for players to give views on what they consider fair. As it stands, there is a very, very steep increase in the fees coming from what we have been paying to very, very high figures. So that discussion is ongoing. There's public participation that has been called for, and we hope to respond appropriately to the invitation by the regulator. And this is to do with the amendment of the Insurance Act.
In terms of Kenya being listed as one of the countries in the grey line, maybe basically, looking at the speed, maybe what are you doing to make sure that maybe you're back to where you belong?
Kenya being, sorry?
Being in the grey list.
Okay. A number of activities. Like I said, the banks have already complied. We are lagging behind in the insurance sector, and that is why we are sensitizing our members. We start by sensitization, then we go to training, then we go to collaboration with the regulator, and then we go to compliance. So we have done the first two, we have done sensitization. It's still ongoing, including in this conference, after which we have done training by international experts. The next thing is compliance, and we have seen from the regulator's perspective, it is not something the regulator is imposing on us, it is something that is coming from an international perspective.